The dance tip that I've got for you today is about turning out your hips, and then we'll look at, also in a separate video linked to this, one of the moves where that is required. Now, most of us, when we stand with our feet together, have our feet naturally facing forwards, but you may often have seen dancers, they stand with their feet facing the corners, and this is what we refer to as a turned out position, because essentially we're turning out our hips, and that's what makes those feet face there. So facing forward, the hips are not turned out, but with the feet facing towards the corners, they are. It's a slightly different position in the hips, and the reason that we do this in dancing quite often with specific move that I'm going to look at shortly is to protect your knees when we're doing bending and changing of direction. So what we're going to do is look at the lunge. Now, lunges appear in dancing in lots of different styles, and they are executed differently. Sometimes with the back leg straight, sometimes with it bent, sometimes with your foot facing forwards, but sometimes in the turned out position. So it is fine to do a lunge going forward with your foot facing forward like this. But the thing to be aware of is that it's harder to reach an end point. You can see that you can keep moving in that forward direction. There's nothing really stopping you other than the fact that you're going to move forward. And when often in dancing, we're changing our direction quite quickly. So we want to be able to have that endpoint, stop ourselves more easily, protecting our joints, and then coming back again. And this is where it's really helpful to have your hip turned out. So instead of having your foot face forwards when you step forward, you're going to turn out the hip and have the foot face more towards the corner. So essentially you can, if you look down at your feet, your knee will still bend over your toe, so it should still go in that direction. So that's the sort of safe way. We don't want the knee to go anywhere else. We want the knee to go over the foot, but instead of lunging forward with the foot facing forwards, facing the corner. Now what happens is you'll find you get to a point where you stop. The knee just can't go any further. Obviously we can bend deeper, but you'll find that it stops that transfer of weight. So it's much better when you want to change direction, because you're protecting your knee, and also when you press down into the ground, you can then push off and come back again. So another example of when we would do a lunge step and we want this turned out position is when we go towards the corner. Now you often would go to cross to the right corner with your left foot. Now, like I said, instead of facing the corner and having the foot face that direction, just turn out the hip so the foot faces more towards the front. Once again, you'll feel that end point that you reach to in terms of a little bend in the knee, so you're protecting the knee joint, and we can change direction back again. So we do these in Viennese waltz. It's called a double lunge. So we kind of go across, rock to the side, across, and change weight. So I'm turning out the hip. Instead of having the foot face the corner, it's more towards the front. So hopefully you've sussed that out. So remember, there are times that you'll have your foot facing forward, but quite often this turned out position is with your hips turned out. It takes a little while to get used to. The muscles working in that area won't be necessarily used to it straight away. But hopefully whenever we do those lunging kind of steps, that's one of the key times that you would want to have your hips turned down. Like I said, there are others, but that's what I specifically had in mind when I wanted to share this little tip with you.